Hello and welcome back to another episode of One of Us is Talking. Today I have a very exciting guest. I am here with Jocelyn Shelfo from Exo Kitty and The Summer I Turned Pretty. Hello,
Hello.
Jocelyn. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to talk to you. I just finished Exo Kitty. Absolutely loved it. You were amazing as Madison. And also a huge fan of The Summer I Turned Pretty. So, I mean, you're in like my top two shows right now.
Oh, good, good.
But the one thing that really differentiates Exo Kitty from The Summer I Turned Pretty is where you filmed.
Yeah.
What was it like filming in Seoul? And did you have a favorite place you visited there?
Filming in Seoul was crazy. I'd never been to Asia before, and like for the first month of me being there, I was like literally could not stop smiling, was in such shock that I got to go to South Korea for work. It's a beautiful country, beautiful culture, and the friends I got to meet there were really lovely. Um, I feel like I got to go see a couple cool places in Seoul. I didn't travel too much because COVID was still pretty bad, but one of our filming locations we went to for the camping episode, it was called like the Little Mykonos of Korea, and it was so pretty because it was kind of on the coast, and the geography there is just so much different. And so pretty. We were like in the ocean, and there were little islands off the coast and stuff. So that was really pretty.
Oh,
And of
that's
course, like the palaces and everything.
yeah, that sounds so pretty. And I mean, if you ever had the chance to go back, is there like a place you'd love to visit again, or maybe a place you didn't get to that you'd love to?
Yeah, I really wanted to go to the beach, and also I heard like really great things about Busan. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'd love to go to the coast there, maybe go swimming in the ocean or something.
I feel like there's so many great places there that you can always like, it just seems like such a beautiful area.
Yeah, it is. It was cool.
Oops, sorry.
No, no, you're
I was
good.
like,
You're good.
be
Sometimes
like,
like
you're
I
good.
don't know how much I should talk, but
No, you're good. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm like, sometimes like, did I just say too much? But no, you're all good. And I mean, what I love so much about these interviews is I get to also connect with fans of the show who help me like create questions and they really have these good ideas. So you kind of brought up before that you met so many great people over in Seoul. Did you ever expect that the cast would become like one big family? And are you all still close now?
I think I hoped we would. I feel like as a kid and wanting to be an actor, it's always like the dream of having like a best friend cast and you go do something super fun. I think I honestly it all happened so quickly that I went in not really thinking so much about how close we would get, which is kind of out of the box for me because normally I get like anxious about those things. But I remember I was in quarantine for 7 days before like coming out of or like when I went to Korea, I quarantined for 7 days and Anna had DM'd me and was like, "Hey, so nice to meet you, so excited to meet you and everything." And then yeah, we just all really clicked and it's weird to think about meeting each other for the first time and not really knowing where those friendships are going to go. And I do think that we are still quite close now. It's hard because everyone's in a different place and time zones are so different. Um, but we still try to keep in touch. A lot of times we'll visit each other. And of course, for the premiere, it was so wonderful to see everybody because it felt you're just back at home with your people.
That's so nice. And I think knowing that the cast is so close is one thing that really translates on screen, and being able to see that really makes the show more appealing because I think watching the episodes, you're all there and you can see that chemistry. And I mean, even Madison's character, everyone she interacted with, I mean, you were just the perfect Madison. And what was your favorite part about playing her?
Madison was she was fun for me. I think even just getting the sides for the audition, I was like, oh, I've always wanted to play a character like this because she's so quirky and so unique. And so there's so much you can do and like lean into who that person is. I think my favorite part about her was just how much I got to explore comedy through the character and stuff. Not being a leading cast member, I didn't have the pressure of like carrying the show and the storyline and everything, so she really does kind of pop in for those subplots and to alleviate some of the drama. And so that was cool because she is so unique and has such a strong personality. you really got to like push the boundaries a little bit with what you can play with.
Yeah, and I think like you said, not being a part of like the main cat or main character, being able to have that freedom really shines
Definitely.
through. And I think that almost makes Madison a more outstanding character because people like remember her more and remember
Mhm.
like that sense of humor. So I think playing around with that, you really found like that balance between not feeling the pressure of carrying the whole show, but still making Madison her own person.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely fun.
No problem. And I mean, the one question I'm sure even all the cast has is EXO Kitty going to be renewed? If there is any more seasons, would you like to see anything happen or do you have any like visions for your character?
I don't know if we're gonna have a season two. Fingers crossed. I haven't heard anything from the showrunners, but I think with the strike too, they're gonna wait and see how things fall out. But if there was for a season two for Madison, I think I'd like to see her more friendly with like the girls and stuff, like see what she looks like in a friendship space.
Mhm.
Um, I think, and I talk about this with the castmates, I think it'd be so fun for Juliana, Yuri, Kitty, and Madison to all be roommates. Because I think there'd be so much drama there with
Yes,
especially because like all the love triangles and stuff. So I think that'd be interesting to see how that plays out.
that would be. And
Yeah.
I interviewed Reagan, who plays Juliana, and same kind of thing, like her character, being able to see that kind of play out, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Madison and Juliana would be good friends. I hope they're friends in season 2 because I feel like just looking at Juliana's wardrobe, she's got
Yeah.
some slay girl in her, but I think they
I
need to
could
be
see
friends.
that. Yeah. Oh my God. No, that would be great. And then I'd have to have both you and Reagan here, and we'd have to talk about
Yeah.
Juliana and Madison's BFF status. That would be
Definitely,
fun.
definitely.
But did you have to learn Korean for the part, or is that something that you knew before being casted in the show?
I wish I could speak Korean fluently and that I knew it before the show. However, I didn't. So that was something when I knew I was going to have a callback, it was brought up that the character would have to speak some Korean. And I think I have a good knack of like picking up accents and stuff. So I was like, okay, like I can do this. So I learned some Korean for my slate in my callback. I said something. Wasn't very good probably. And then when we got there, originally in the script, Madison ended up speaking more Korean than I think what came through in the show. So I did have dialect coaching for that, which I thought was so fun. Like linguistics in general is something I think is so interesting, like how you position
Yeah.
the words differently in your mouth and like it's like nasally or in your throat type of thing. So that was super fun for me. And then my dialect coach and I went to the palaces together and like I got a little history lesson, so that was cool. But no, I didn't speak Korean and I still don't, but I'd like to learn it. I have it on my Duolingo, so
That's so cool. I mean, going off of like our questions a little bit, do you mind if I ask about dialect coaching and
no,
kind of
sure.
how that perfect. So like how does a dialect coach work? Like what do they kind of work on you with? How does your practice go with them?
Yeah. So I've worked with a dialect coach for RP, like standard English accents, and then of course for the Korean. Um, for this show, they didn't like teach me how to speak the language. It was more so like, okay, these are going to be your lines. Like, let's make sure that we're saying them correctly. So, a lot of like talking about the posture of the vowels and consonants and like where those things hit in the mouth. And it's so funny because I have to this day so many voice memos of like me recording our meetings and her saying a word and me saying and she's like no, and she says it and then I say it and she's like no. She's like no, no, okay, that was okay. But I think I learned Hangul before I went the Korean alphabet and I think that helped a lot too because like knowing like the romanization of letters and stuff is when they kind of I think that's what it's called. I'm not quite sure, but like they'll translate Korean sounding words into English spelt out with English letters and stuff. And that makes it hard sometimes, I think, to pronounce correctly because it's never going to be spelled exactly how it sounds type of thing. So learning Hangul, I think, helped me be like, oh, this is what that letter is. Okay, so that's what that sounds like. And that helped a lot too.
Okay. I mean, it's so cool to hear this because you don't realize how much goes into the dialect coaching. Like
Yeah.
hearing all in the voice recording. So that's really cool to hear. And it's kind of cool to hear your experience, how you kind of started with the Hangul alphabet, was it? And then you kind of made your way up. So that's so cool. And hopefully, again, fingers crossed, season 2, you'll have your opportunity to master your skills in speaking
Yes.
Korean. And that's so awesome. I mean, I would love to learn another language. And it's cool that you said you kind of have that knack for picking up accents and all. That's really
Yeah.
awesome. And we kind of talked about this a little bit with Juliana and her style, but if you could steal any character or castmate's wardrobe from Exo Kitty or The Summer I Turned Pretty,
Mm.
whose would you want and why?
Castmate or character?
Yes.
Wait, what did Reagan say for this?
I actually did not ask Ray. This is a fan
Oh,
question.
oh, oh, okay. Well, that's
But that's
crazy
a
'cause it would definitely be her.
I mean, her earrings, I love when had the opportunity to interview her twice, amazing both times, and her earrings, she always has like these super cool ones.
Yes. Yeah,
But
she oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, I don't know, your earrings are really pretty and I love your
Oh,
green sweater. So
thank you.
you all have great style.
Thanks. No, Reagan has the most fun style ever. She would always pull up, we'd be like, okay, like let's go get something to eat. And everyone would be like in their sweatpants, and she'd be like, her makeup would be done like super artistically and everything. And I think her character in the show was wearing some of her own clothes just because that's how like
Oh wow.
stylish she is. So definitely her because she understands fashion to a
Yeah.
point I will never.
That's pretty cool that they used her clothes. I love to hear like those little like tidbits about the show. That's
Yeah.
fun. And I mean, kind of going back to The Summer I Turned Pretty and Exo Kitty, what's it like being a part of 2 Jenny Han projects?
I feel so grateful that she has brought me on to both things. Um, like I don't know, working for her is so lovely because she's so supportive and she's so kind. And I feel like it's so easy to trust her vision because she really understands her fan base and like knows what the people want and will give it to them. And I think she's really intentional about the content that she puts out. And so of course, when I saw that she was making this, I was like, oh, it's gonna be good. I know it will be. I have to be a part of it. So just really grateful because I think she's taken me under her wing and like changed the trajectory of my career for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like one of the biggest compliments probably in like the book adaptation world is being in a Jenny Han adaptation because I feel like hers are so respected and loved and I mean they're phenomenal. So as an actor, that must be a super high compliment for you. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No problem. And I mean, kind of going back off Jenny Han and her books, before you got the part, did you read The Summer I Turned Pretty or even the To All the Boys I Loved Before books? Or was that kind of after you got these parts?
I had read The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I think it was like, oh, I read it before I went in for my audition and stuff. I hadn't read the To All the Boys I Loved Before. But I had seen the movies. But my sister and I, she was like cleaning out her room the other day, and like years ago, she was in Mexico, and my sister speaks Spanish, so she like bought a book in the airport to like read on vacation. And the other day, we realized it was The Summer I Turned Pretty, just in Spanish, and we
Oh,
never knew that
wow.
that was what the book was. So she'd had it all these years and had read it. So I
That's
thought
so
that was
cool.
crazy.
That is cool. It's kind of like a little bit of foreshadowing there for you. Like,
Yeah.
that's so cool. And I mean, I'm the same way. I've read The Summer I Turned Pretty, have not had the chance to read To All the Boys before in that series, but I've seen the movies and love them dearly. So seeing
So
Exo
good.
Kitty come to life, it's just been so great. And I mean, Exo Kitty was filled with a phenomenal cast and even a cast of characters that were so great. If
Yeah.
you could play any character besides yours, who would it be?
I don't think I could play them because they just took it out of the water, but my favorite character is Mino because he's so funny. And I'm a big New Girl fan, and Mino reminds me exactly of Schmidt from New Girl.
Yes.
And so have you seen it?
Yes. Love
Yes,
New.
okay. Do you see the connection?
I do. I
It's
do.
like kind of the same thing. And they're like both, it's like in the boys' dorm and Kitty goes in. But I love Schmidt. He's one of my favorite characters. And so Mina, like that's always something, a character that I was always interested in playing. And when I read the scripts, I was like, this is so funny. But I could never, like, Sung Han killed it. He was so good. So like I could never even think of playing that role, but I think he did a great job because the character is
Yeah.
so funny.
Mino is really funny. He was one of my favorite guys. So I do have, I mean, I don't think I could ever play one of the characters, but it would be very fun to like be in the shoes of playing him. And I mean, one thing that really stuck out is that you're still in school. So you're doing all of these projects while still attending school. How do you handle all of that? It must not be very easy.
Yeah, I think it depends on the amount of work I'll be doing. My first quarter on campus in college, it was during filming season 1 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. And so I like every other week would drive 6 hours to go
Oh
film
my
and
goodness.
stuff. But I got lucky because that was when we were still doing like dual attendance type of things. So like I could be in class or over Zoom because it was still the
Okay.
like
The pandemic, like the asynchronous.
yeah, that's what the word is. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that made it easy because at my school, if you miss more than 4 classes, you fail the class automatically. So I got lucky with that. But for bigger stuff, like Exo Kitty, I just took the quarter off, which is so
Okay.
nice that they allow me to do that and everything. So it just kind of depends, but it some quarters are easier, lighter loads than others and stuff. So yeah, but it can be a lot.
It's really admirable that you're still going for a higher education while also balancing all of this. So I just wanted to say that because as someone who completed college, I could never imagine myself working on all of this while doing all my coursework. So, I mean, you're talented, you have the brains, so you're you're like the ideal actress. So, I mean, I just want to keep saying congratulations because you're
Thank
such like
you.
an inspirational like young
What?
woman for future actors and actresses. So I just wanted to let you know that and best
Thank
of
you
luck
so
with the
much.
rest of your studies because that's so exciting. And I mean, what advice do you have for those looking to go into the entertainment industry, especially such like a broad industry and it's really tough
Yeah,
to like make a break into it?
right. I think, and I say this with like an asterisk to it, I would say like take all the opportunities you can, but I think the asterisk to that would be don't don't give up your morals or your ethics or like something you're not comfortable with. Like everything that you're up for doing, definitely do all those things. Like for me, right out of high school, I PA'd for a year, and that was so helpful for me because like before being on set, I was like always anxious or like didn't really know what my job as the actor was and like how set run and stuff like that or how set was ran. And so I think just trying to like do anything on set, you'll learn so much, you'll meet so many cool people, and like PAing was so fun for me. I loved doing that. Like the people I met and just like being there every day, like I don't know, getting people's lunch orders and like I don't know, it was just so fun. And so I think you learn a lot and get comfortable with being in that type of environment. And so I think just like trying different things, being open to
Yeah,
that.
that's such great advice. And I like how you really emphasize like take all your opportunities, but never compromise your morals or what you stand for.
Mhm.
Because I think staying true to yourself and being comfortable with everything you do is the most important.
Yeah.
Never take a role or opportunity that's gonna be detrimental to you.
Definitely. And I think too with entertainment, there's like we put it on a pedestal of like this is entertainment. Like when you get there, all your problems will go away and you'll live this wonderful life. And like I definitely think for a while I was like, if I book this role, I'll be happy and like all my problems will be gone. And just as a reminder, like life still exists. Don't put all your worth in one thing. Um, and yeah, work hard, but like don't make it your life type of thing.
Yeah, that's such sweet advice. And for everyone, I know a lot of younger high schoolers listen to the podcast and even those in college. I think this is so important because they're getting ready to start like this career path for
Mhm.
themselves. And I think, like you said, it's so important to just stay true to yourself and realize that don't put all your worth in one role because you are so much more than a role
Definitely. Yeah.
or a job, whatever it is. If you're listening to this and you're confused with where you want to go or what you
Yes.
want to do in entertainment, you're going to be okay. Like everything's going to work out and it's not determined on that one role. And I think Jocelyn said it best. So thank you.
Of course. Of course.
And here at One of Us is Talking, we love to have a little hot seat section where I ask you some rapid fire. Are you down for that?
Yes, I'm ready.
Perfect. So do you have a favorite song at the moment?
Mm. This is hard. I've been listening a lot to the song Hey Girl by wait, let me find who sings it. Where's my phone? Okay, Hey Girl by Steven Sanchez.
Okay, I've never heard of it, but I'm going to take a listen right after.
It's so beautiful. Please let me know if you like it.
I will definitely. Okay, I'm going to listen to that. And then what about if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think I don't know in realistically if I would want to eat this every day, but I love steamed artichokes and like lemon butter. It's like a super random thing. It's like a family culture thing, but like it's so good. Highly
Hmm,
recommend. And I would
okay,
eat it
that's
every
another
day.
one to try. Okay, I'll have to try that. Steamed artichoke with lemon butter?
Yeah. Put
Okay.
some Greek seasoning in there.
Ooh,
Mm.
that actually sounds very good. And do you have an all-time favorite TV or cartoon character?
I'm gonna say Schmidt just because my brain is already primed to say that based off of our previous conversation.
But
But
that's also a really good one, so.
yeah, he's too funny. He's so good.
And are you a cat or a dog person?
A dog person.
And do you have any top three study spots?
Ooh, I like a good coffee shop action. I can work with that. The library is nice sometimes if I need like a quieter space. And maybe like a nice patio. Like I can't do my work outside in the sun, but if it's like outside and I'm in the shade with like a table, then that's a great study place.
I never get how people will like just sit on like grass right in the sun, like nothing supporting their back, nothing like to
They're on
write
their
on, and they're
laptop.
just like, I'm like, how do you do that?
No, no.
What about if you could have dinner with any celebrity or public figure, dead or alive, who would it be?
Hmm. Probably Jesus Christ. So honest, 100%. That would be
That's
my.
actually, I mean, when you think of it, there are like a lot of questions. Like that would be a very
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah, no, that's actually a really good
Solve
one.
so many things.
Yeah. And I mean, what about the East Coast or the West Coast?
That's so hard because I'm an East Coast girl, born and raised, but I love the West Coast. I love Colorado, which technically isn't like the West Coast, but it's in the West. Um, eh, I- I'm glitching. I'll say both question mark.
As an East Coast girl born and raised too, I have to say I am also both. I just
Okay.
got back from California, loved it. Like I love the West, but there is something so special about just
Yeah.
growing up on the East Coast.
Where are you from on the East Coast?
I'm
If
from
you
New
don't mind me
Jersey.
asking. Oh,
No,
New Jersey? Okay,
yeah.
cool.
What about you, if you don't mind me
I'm
asking?
from Georgia.
Okay, okay. So my sister lives in Virginia, so she's kind of down that way.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
that's really cool. And then what animal is your spirit animal?
Mm. I don't think I have a spirit animal, but I love lions. Like, I definitely don't think that would be a spirit animal of mine, but I've always really wanted to pet a lion.
Ooh, that's an interesting one, but I like
Yeah.
that. That's actually a really good one. And what about read the book or watch the movie/show?
These are all hard hot seat questions. Here's the thing. I feel like if I don't know if I'm answering too long for all of these hot seat questions. My butt's gonna be burned, but if I'll see shows and movies that are like from a book and I'll be like, "Oh, I want to read the book," but then I never have the time to. But if I've read the book and then the show comes out, I'm like, "You have to read the book. The book is so much better. You have to read it
Mhm.
first." So, I'm kind of a hypocrite in that way, I guess.
And for our last one, Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram. I don't have Twitter.
Okay, so definitely an Instagram girl
Yeah.
through and through.
If there's a Twitter handle with my name, that's not me, just FYI.
So if there's any Jocelyn Shelfos on Twitter, we're setting the record straight here. It is not the real Jocelyn. Well, Jocelyn, thank you so much for joining today. You were such a great guest, and we wish you the best of luck with everything in the future. And Exo Kitty's on Netflix now. Everyone should give it a watch and watch Jocelyn as Madison.
Thank you so much. It was so good to meet you.